Hey, how you guys doing today? My name is Mr. Griffin. We're here at Griffin's Industrial Welding School. Today we're gonna go over how to set up an Oxy-Fuel Cutting Torch. We're gonna break down how to use the different fuel gases along with how to use the oxygen. So if you guys wanna come over, I wanna go ahead and show you how we'll set up the torch today. We're gonna start off with the acetylene, okay? You always wanna read your left gauge, okay? Whenever you're cutting on your acetylene, you want to open it no more than 1.5 turns. Okay. Now you notice that when you opened it, it brought out PSI between 5 and 10 PSI. Okay. You always want to keep it between 5 and 10 PSI whenever you're using the acetylene. You never want to exceed 15 PSI. Okay. The reason why you don't want to exceed 15 PSI is because the acetone becomes unstable, which can cause the tank to blow under extreme circumstances. Okay? Whenever you're using your oxygen, you normally want to open the tank up all the way. So you completely open the tank up all the way. Okay? This is how you set your gas. All right? Now, if there's, whenever you're ready to use the actual track torch, this is called a track torch. This is what we use to move our torch forward and back. So as far as the track torch, whenever it's on free, that means you see how it says driving free. Whenever it's on free, that means you can move the torch by hand. So when you push the button up, this is what allows the torch to move the opposite direction. Okay? So we're gonna stop it right here in the middle. This right here where it says low and high, this is just the speed of the torch, how fast it will cut. If you turn this to the right, it's gonna cut slower. If you turn it to the left, it's gonna cut a lot faster. Your speed is based on how thick of material that you're using, okay? So if you're cutting a 3/8, you usually want more of a slower pace so you can get a nice smooth cut all the way through, okay? This right here is what allows you to move your torch forward and back. Okay. This one right here is going to adjust your angle. Okay. If we move it. And this right here allows you to move the torch up and down. Okay. All right. Now, when you're cutting the metal, you normally want to have anywhere from you normally want to bevel the metal anywhere from about a 34-degree bevel angle. Or if it's a test plate, you want to go to about 37.5 degrees. Okay. Right now we have a real tight bevel angle. We're about 35 degrees. That's what we're going to use to actually make the cut. Okay. The first step, you cut your acetylene on just a little bit. Okay. You're going to cut your oxygen on just a little bit. Okay, now with the oxygen, the reason why you don't want to cut it all the way up like this, if it's up too high, it will not strike. Okay, now let's say you don't cut it on at all. It'll strike, but when you start going, it's going to cut off on you. So that's why you only want to open the oxygen up just a little bit. Okay, this is the same setup for oxy-fuel if you're using a hand torch or if you're using what we call a track torch. Okay. When you get ready to strike the flame, you want to use what we call a striker. This is called a striker. Okay, that's what allows you to strike the flame. Okay, now you notice that when we open this knob for the acetylene, it shows us exactly where the gas pressure is at. So you see we're still right here between 5 and 10. Okay, so now we're going to strike it. Okay. That is a carburizing flame. That means we have too much fuel, not enough oxygen. Too much fuel, not enough oxygen, okay? When you add in your oxygen, this is a neutral flame. It's a light blue flame. That's the flame that you need to actually make the cut, okay? Now, if your flame is real loud, that's an oxidizing flame. That means you have too much oxygen. So you want to keep a neutral flame. You want to keep your flame in a light blue color. It should be real quiet. Okay. All right, the next step is you want to preheat the metal. The more you preheat it, the smoother it's going to cut. So you want to go over it a couple of times. Make sure you have a real nice smooth preheat on there. Very nice preheat. Because you want the metal nice and smooth when you get ready to cut it. So you just go over it a couple of times. Make sure it's very nice and smooth. When you're ready to cut, you don't want to be so close to where you smother the flame. So you want to be just far enough away to where it's nice and warm, but you can get a nice full cut. Okay. All right, now when it starts to spark, that's when we know it's time for us to cut. Okay. All right, so as you can see, after you've made your oxy-fuel cut, the way that you want to safely shut down the oxy-fuel cutting equipment, the best thing to do is when you come around here, first thing you want to do is close up the gas tanks. Remember, acetylene has left-hand thread, so it's lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. Okay. The oxygen has right-hand threads, so it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. When you close them both, now you want to close up these, open up these knobs. This will allow you to actually bleed the lines on the torch. Okay. Once everything is bled out and you look at your gauges and you notice that everything is at 0, okay, now you can turn around and close up these knobs. That way you have no pressure remaining in the torch. Because as long as you have pressure in the torch, if somebody is welding close by, all it takes is a spark for them to ignite the flame. Okay, so to keep everything safe and to make sure that there's no safety hazards, nobody can severely get burned, you can't severely get burned, this is the safest way to shut down the oxy-fuel cutting torch. If you're looking to enroll in a new career, you're in the right place. Welding is a career that's in high demand. There's a shortage of about 400,000 welders nationwide right now. So if you're really interested in learning this trade, you can sign up at griffinsindustrialweldingschool.com. You can also call us at 281-782-9713. Again, that's 281-782-9713. And you can subscribe to us at Griffin's Industrial Welding School, where hard work comes before success.